let's just get right into it. I'm already tapped into your guide. I have these decks picked out for this reading. Spirit, what do you have for this person in front of me for their highest good? To help get them back into alignment. For this person that has had some hope disappear, maybe in a corner, kind of hiding away. I need 4 from this deck, please. 4 from this deck. Any upside down, I'll pull to my heart. We have the 1 of Keys, the Architect in reverse, the 7 of Scrolls, Intricacies in Industry upright. The Akashic Library in reverse, and we've got 2 here. The 7 of Forces, Balance, upright, clarified by the 6 of Forces, which is the Waterfall. All right, if we look at these just as they are without a book and intuitively see, we have the Architect, someone who's planning, who is meant to be the visionary for their life, and it's out of alignment. We have the 7 of Scrolls, 2 7s next to each other, 7 7. We have the 7 of Scrolls, and on this card, it's like a portion of a wall is being built. There's some bricks off to the side in a pile. Some of the fancier parts of this place have been built, but then there's like the small portion of the walls and there's some plans. So we have an architect that's trying to build something, but they're not in alignment. So it's really not going to get built the way that they are hoping to have it built. 2 4 3 on the timer there. The weather is right. The plans are there. There's not a lot of help there. So it could be some isolation. A waterfall in reverse. Water has to do with intuition. So when it comes to balance, like intuition is off. There's definitely like this ability to be balanced. There's the tools there for balance. You're meant to be balanced, but like the waterfall is flowing in reverse. So the force, the intuition, the emotions, maybe the emotions are like being sucked up, held in, not expressed appropriately. Blue is on these 2 cards. It's giving throat chakra. So we got purple here, which is some of these upper chakras, specifically the 3rd eye, but also could be the crown, out of alignment. The heart is in the right place. It's the right weather, but there's not a lot of like correct foundation to be doing that heart work. And then we have the Akashic Library also in reverse. So like even like the wisdom that you hold isn't being appropriately accessed. We're gonna start there. Just go right down the stack. It's soccer season, and I have like this line from Billy Madison stuck in my head when I was gathering these cards, it was Eric's pregnant. Congratulations, Eric. He's going to be a soccer player. Feel them kicks. He is. He is. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? A rebirth. A birth happening. Like in due, D-U-E, in due time, due date. Spring, things bud. A hospital. Way back when hospitals didn't exist, there were still women in the community that would help women give birth. And the mortality rates were much higher. The risk of you or your baby not making it were much higher when you didn't have help. You're not meant to give birth on your own. There are some things you need community for, and there are some things that you need a much greater structure for. And the mortality rate, the risk is going to continue. This is symbolic. The mortality rate is going to continue to be high when you continue to try to do things alone that you aren't meant to do alone. And it's going to continue to be high until you place value on some of the innovations that have happened over the last hundreds of years. Until you place value on some of the tools that are out there that are meant to help you when you're out of alignment. You don't walk into a GI gastro doctor when you're in labor and ask them to give birth or to help you give birth. You show up at an emergency room or you show up at the hospital that you intended to give birth at. There's a plan there. There's qualified people there. If you keep going to the wrong doors that look kinda like the same doors as the other places, but they don't offer the same services, they don't offer the same help, they don't offer the correct thing that you need for the exact thing you need in that moment, it can be really risky. If you continue to listen or go to places that are not the ones that you're supposed to be at, that you're meant to be at for the thing that you're experiencing, you will continue to stay out of this alignment. But you have the heart and you have the ability to be balanced. You have the divinity. You even have the knowledge and the ability to build it and the emotions to do so. You have every piece of the puzzle that you need, but they're not being utilized appropriately. At a hospital, a GI doctor's door, an OBGYN's door, a heart doctor's door, they all kind of look the same. And even on a map, they just have a medical cross on them. But it does matter where you go. It does matter where you show up. And you're going to have better outcomes if you show up more often. There's particular check-ins, appointments when you're pregnant and you're going to be giving birth. There are particular check-ins and checkpoints that you are meant to go to, and if you skip those, you increase your risks and you aren't as informed as you could be. 1033. These are critical choices that you decide to make or not make. And you decide that. I need one from here, please. I have chills down the side of my head. Intuition, Raziel. It's a block there. Gabriel, balance. Blue, communication. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. Oh, I have chills with that one. So we have balance, like you have the ability to be balanced. And yet the emotions, the intuition, the cosmic connection, it's not flowing. You're not allowing it to flow. And the thing is that you absolutely know how. And it's a choice. It's a choice not to. All right. So we have Archangel Gabriel here. Tend to your village on the bottom. Give heartfelt thanks at the split. What do we have for this individual, please? You have to get in the game to play the game. You can be on the team, but a player that's benched all season isn't going to have the same experience or the same level of contentment and joy as a person that's out there in the game, and the person that continuously skips practice or sits on the sidelines and doesn't want to get out there at all, sits quietly in the corner and doesn't cheer on their teammates. They're not going to have the same experience as someone who does get out and practice, even if they're not playing in the game. Or they're going to have a different experience than someone who does actually cheer their teammates on and show up, even if they can't practice. Embrace flexibility, card number 11, Elder Coyote. We're headed into a full moon. We're at the first quarter. Definitely a taking action time. The baby steps, the moving forward. Even in the darkness. Even in the darkness. We have be more present here, Elder Hawk. Freya, Horus energy. Be more present. Very aligned with the message we've been talking about. All right, we'll read from these books too. 1427. Could be a Bible verse there. The matriarch. That motherly figure. Talking about birth. Nurture the harvest. Miracles in motion. Mother of God. Definitely mothering energy. to support the message of the birth and all the message before that. Thank you, Spirit, for that. What is the message you'd like to get out to this individual? The Chiefess, strength tested. We have a lioness on here. This is related to the strength card in the tarot. Although this is technically an oracle book or deck, rather. Now let's dive into the messages here. So we went over these. We had the clarifier with Archangel Gabriel. And then we have the energy of embracing flexibility and doing so with strength. So 811, also here 811, reminds me of call before digging. Make sure you're using really good protective practices when you're connecting with spirit. Make sure you know what spirits you're connecting with. Utilizing all of the things that you know about protection, third eye protection, heart protection, general fortress building. I know the person that this is specifically for, that purchased this reading. Thank you so much for purchasing it, by the way, and giving that gift to yourself, but also to others that are listening that this is resonating for. I know that the person that this is for does actually know the very unique protection practices that I teach and has implemented them in their life. But if someone else is listening, I do teach that. And there are a lot of very critical things that we need to do to protect ourselves when we are communicating with spirit, that are healthy to keep with you throughout your life, even when you feel that you don't need it anymore. It's still good to wear a seatbelt, even if you're a really good driver. So the One of Keys in reverse. Just passed by something that said Archangel Michael also. I don't know this deck very well, so I don't know where keys are or what they stand for in this. So the Architect in reverse says, plans have changed or perhaps have even fallen through. There may be things that you can't seem to control, or maybe you've lost your belief in your own talent and authority. Even if a particularly large task lies before you, don't just give up. It's time to wake up to your power and work the plan. If the plan is in a state of collapse, start a new one, or at least consider some actions that you can take to reclaim your power and start anew. Seven of Scrolls. Upright. Intricacies in industry. Work on a Renaissance cathedral has just begun. At first, this building seems modest, but in time, its grandeur will reach several stories high and across the centuries. I was just listening to this podcast, Questions I'm Asking, with Reverend Dr. Greg Bolt. I was listening to it on Spotify, and one of the episodes they were talking about a cathedral project and how you may be the stonemason or the original architect, but you may not actually see the result of your stonework when it's in the greater thing, because it's a cathedral that you're building, and it could take years beyond your life to finish this cathedral, this absolutely grand cathedral. And that is the work of light workers. That is the work of civil rights movements. That is the work of a lot of really big, innovative things, really beautiful projects. You're a piece of the greater project. Big tap on my window. When we want to be the hero, when we want to be the star of something, when we listen to readers that are like, you're famous, you're meant to be famous, your name is meant to be across all households, and you see hundreds of thousands of people liking that, that is feeding an ego. And what we need to be doing is feeding community work, feeding the greater collective. When we decide that we have to be so significant instead of just a piece, a significant piece of something greater, that's where the danger lies in the work that we do. It is far healthier to find purpose in the small things that you're doing that lead to great big things, because those small things then become big things. Because these first parts of this cathedral that's being built, even when you're building it alone, but you do need to be building it with more people. Bring more people in, more experts in, more people that can help in the places. Like, you're a cathedral, okay? You are also a cathedral, you yourself. We can apply this to so many things. The light work that we're doing for the world, whatever projects that you're wanting to work on in your own community, whatever idea you have to change the world, how you want to heal yourself, your own body, your own mental health, your own circumstances around you. We bring people in to help with this stuff. And they may never see the finished product. I personally, in my world, a lot of people come and they go. I'm like an air traffic control person on the ground that's trying to lead the planes in safely. And then they leave again and they go. And I don't get to see what happens to them afterwards. They come, they stop for just a little bit. I'm the bed and breakfast on the traveler's journey. I don't get to see their whole journey. I get to see a piece of it, but I get to be a beautiful part of that. And I can have an impact. You can have an impact. Apply things that are said to other areas of your life. Apply other things that you see about people and how that can be a lesson for your own life. Everything around us is a lesson. Everything around us is an opportunity. Everything around us is a choice to make an impact or to not, to sit in the corner at practice and talk to no one, or to cheer on our teammates, or to get up, or to ask to be put in, coach. Can you give me another try? So work on a Renaissance cathedral has just begun. At first, this building seems modest, but in time, its grandeur will reach several stories high and across the centuries. But now piles of stone and rock dot the scene. A mason bends, focusing intently on a plumb bob that hangs next to a partially built wall. This instrument helps him determine if the wall is straight and true. I hear, well, you're straight and true, meaning you're upright, you're in alignment in your heart. In so many places, you're in alignment. Being out of alignment in little places is just an opportunity to go, oh, we better correct that, because this whole cathedral is gonna crumble if we don't correct this piece here and this piece here and this piece here. When we see a mistake in the architect's work, we go, oh, we should probably adjust that. Or we see that somebody changed the plan over there and it's already built. Oh, well, we might want to go back to the architect drawings and make sure that everything still works, and bring an engineer in to make sure everything's going to still be sound. There's so many pieces to this. You may bring in a stonemason that has a greater idea than the architect ever had. Apply this to your life and how your life is unfolding. You may have planned something and then somebody else came in a greater version than they were expected to be. And they've now offered you something greater than you originally had. It doesn't mean you stop building. It means you've got to go back to the drawings and go, how do I fit this in? Because I really like that idea. But now we have to make some uncomfortable adjustments that are going to take some time. Apply this to many areas of your life. At a very basic level, this card can indicate building or renovating a home or a business. This is on page 1, 2, 3, by the way. At a basic level, this card can indicate building or renovating a home or a business. This card also shows that you're on your way to greatness, but it requires attending to even the tiniest of particulars. Be diligent with the specifics in your strategy and pay considerable attention to the detail and follow through. While you may have a long-term goal in mind, the small steps are what's important now. We're in the first quarter moon. We manifest things in the new moon. Now we're taking our small steps. All right. Even the most magnificent cathedrals were built stone by stone, day by day. It is only by heaping up the small that the great can be achieved. There's a situation in your life that requires your attention to detail right now. Close your eyes and imagine that this situation is a puzzle in pieces on a table in front of you. Imagine the individual pieces and sense what you need and feel about them. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel. Thank you for bringing in the synchronicity of the puzzle pieces. Thank you for having me say puzzle pieces earlier in this reading, and then having it come out on this card, in this deck that I don't know well. Thank you for bringing that beautiful magic, that beautiful miracle in, the small miracles, the faith-building moments. All glory to the Most High God. Many thanks to the many workers out there, ones seen and unseen. 7 of Forces. Where's the forces in here? All right, in upright position, 7 of Forces. This card reveals a time of harmony, balance, and justice in your life. A desk holds balanced scales, scrolls, and stacks of papers. Perhaps it's the scrolls and stacks of papers also from here. And the scrolls and stacks of papers from here. A redrawing needed. Get back to the desk. Shelves of books grace a wall, like books here. Shelves of books grace a wall where a door opens into a light-filled room. Upright, this card indicates a time of balance is at hand. All systems through the body, through nature, and through society seek to achieve balance. Stop and consider all the parts of your life that you can bring into greater balance during this time. The universe helps you do so. You may have to confront important legal issues. You may have to deal with paperwork of some kind, or there may be a need for legal action regarding property, inheritance, work contracts, custody, or divorce. Be patient and pay attention to the details, as technicalities will be important right now. But things bode well. Justice is at hand. Take heart at the sight of the golden light that washes over the scene. A sign that all issues will come to light and that a beneficial and just resolution is coming your way. Justice is balance in society, but the Akashic records show that justice is not limited strictly to court and contract situations. Justice and reciprocity are energetic. So the energy you put forth now will return to you in the future, or the energy you don't put forward at some point will return to you as isolation and loneliness in the future. You must actually reciprocate energy and be around people that reciprocate energy and be consistent with the energy that you output. Remember that your energy production is up to you. Continue to be aware of your thoughts and actions. Inner balance now leads to a beautiful destiny tomorrow. Close your eyes and see yourself putting on the robes of a court judge. Look upon any situation in your life that requires a balanced understanding. Whether it is an actual legal matter or any other situation, see the wisdom of Solomon and determine what to do next. Thank you for the biblical reference of Solomon. There was a number that I said out loud. Was it 1427? You might look into Proverbs or Ecclesiastes. It could be 2 through 7. Also, something in there. The waterfall in reverse. 6 of Forces. Reverse, this card can indicate a situation where you're feeling a significant loss of power. This waterfall reverse shows that you are in an emotionally reactive time. You may feel like your life's turned totally upside down, or you may have unintentionally given your power to someone else, whether it's a lover, a boss, a family member, or a friend. Perhaps you're following another person's agenda in spite of your own intuition not to do so. In a more extreme form, you may have completely given up. Feels true. Falling into depression or living according to the dictates of another. It's imperative that you rise up and take your power back. That's, again, with that awakening energy of this first card, I believe it was, that talked about, like, basically it's time to wake up again. It's imperative that you rise up and take your power back. It may seem foreign to you to do so, but it's a lesson that your soul longs for you to learn. During this phase, take time in your meditations and restful states to tap the love, power, and value of your spirit. When you understand your true value and use your tools like true value hardware, I don't know if you have those out where you're at, but like your true value, you will know that you deserve to carve out your own destiny, and you'll take the steps to do so. You'll remember that you are the architect, that you hold the knowledge, and that you have the power, the intuition, the emotions, the energy, the force to move yourself forward and to continue to build the parts of the cathedral that you're meant to build for God's temple. The Akashic Library, card number 2. Card number 3 is Archangel Gabriel also. And then card number 4 is Birth. So we've got Akashic Library, which is out here in front of us. We've got Archangel Gabriel, 1, 2, or it's 2, 3, 4 actually, but Akashic Records, we have Archangel Gabriel, which is out here also. We talked about Birth, right? I'm just curious about what number 5 is. It's Hilarion. A sign that you've lost your focus. What's 1 then? The Oracle of Delphi. You're in a time of great insight and psychic power. You are in a time of great insight and psychic power. There's so many of us that are here right now, logs on a bonfire. You don't want to miss this. You don't want to sit on the sidelines. Like, this is not the time to be doing that. With this card reversed, the stairway leads farther and farther downward. Although you feel you're in a state of confusion, it's time to go deeper. The books of your Akashic knowledge may have been toppled, but they're always in reach. You may have stepped away from the psychic guidance from your inner sage. Perhaps there's been a disruption in your life, or maybe just a distraction. In either event, it's time to cast a renewed light on your past and on your inner discovery. Seek now to tap into the power within and through the records. Start today by writing a declaration of release from the things that have been muddying your clarity. Close your eyes and see them all disperse. With just a little effort, the book of your own Akashic record, which seems to have landed face down, can be righted and written upon by you. A special note, when you receive this card, whether upright or reversed, it indicates that a book will bring a message to you. I feel like it's the Bible with the number that I had given you in the beginning, whatever that was. I cannot remember what it was, but I feel like 1427 is now what's in my brain. I just keep seeing 1, 4, 2, 7. Today, any book that compels you to do so, let it fall to any page, read a passage there, and reflect on the words throughout your day. Determine which relationship or situation in your life it addresses, and don't assume that it's the one that's most urgently on your mind. The Akashic forces are active in every part of your life, and your books are actually a part of the Akashic library. Gabriel wants you to know that you have been too busy and wishes you to become more earthed and to take stock of the past actions that have resulted in your life process becoming out of equilibrium. Whenever our yin-yang dualistic force moves out of balance, our energy drops. Gabriel asks you to create harmony by yielding to meditation and stillness so that the divine messengers may remove your burdens. Gaze at the wonderfully integrated intelligence of Leonardo da Vinci's art, and you will feel an altogether different state emerging. Then, Om Mani Padme Hum, chanted 3 times, will rebalance your process as this mantra opens compassionate yielding in our hearts. Now we go to embrace flexibility. This is what I need. Card 11. This one says, to many coyote is a trickster, bringing us witty and unpredictable energy. Culturally, for indigenous people, this trickster has strong medicine. If Elder Coyote has crossed your path, it's a reminder to stay extra curious and not get thrown off by unexpected changes and obstacles. There is no room for rigidity, and the current situation in your life requires you to be more flexible and adaptable. If questions arise around which path to follow or what decision to make, Elder Coyote asks you to seek a new way. If you only see 2 paths before you, this elder suggests a third. If you have always been serious and responsible in your decision making, this elder adds lightness of heart and laughter. It has been said that before we pray, we must laugh so that the sacred can flow through more effortlessly. Bring in this good medicine so the trickster spirit can guide you. Elder Coyote reminds you to see through the illusion of certainty. While the energies may feel erratic and chaotic, stay with the shakeup. You have the power to adapt and move forward in a new, amplified way. I don't know if you've ever seen this exercise where you go, ha, ha, ha. Ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. It can really lighten a mood, even when you don't necessarily want to lighten your mood. You can feel it do so. The Elder Coyote speaks for this card, and it says, even though I am known to be a jokester, when I show up, it's a sign to pay attention. Those details, right? For when I show up, for my medicine is powerful. If you are feeling confused, this card mentioned, or was it one of these? One of them mentioned confusion. I think a couple of them did. But at least another one did. If you are feeling confused about how your life is going or something isn't turning out how you anticipated, I'm here to bring joy to the redirection. If you are having a hard time letting go of expectations, reach down and feel my bushy tail wagging as I support you. We will trot along the path of the unknown together. I shall remind you that even if you make a mistake, a quote mistake, you will remember not to take yourself so seriously, for Spirit has a plan. And then we have the Chieftess, the Strength card, number 8. The declaration is, I am stronger than I ever thought possible. Whew, you're being tested, but you got this. Stay the course, beautiful. Confront your fears and insecurities with courage. Trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. You are a multi-passionate, natural leader. Stand up for yourself and express your needs clearly while maintaining grace and respect for others. Powerful beyond measure describes you and the ancestors of your ancestors. You walk in strength and fortitude. You will not only survive your current challenges, you will thrive. The ancestral memory. The chiefess depicts Chiefess Wangu wa Makeri, the first woman to lead the Kikuyu people of Mbiri, Kenya, and her lioness spirit. She holds her village, including you, in her hands. I actually saw one of my friends that lives in Kenya on a live stream right before this. So I think that's very interesting. I hadn't seen her on my FYP in a while. It was literally just this morning, maybe 30 minutes before this. Less, I think. I was sitting right here in this chair, so less than 30 minutes before this. My child, you are in charge of your life. Some of your ancestors had their natural leadership abilities beaten into quiet and submission. Own your power. And the tarot correspondence is strength. All right, I hope that this helps you and finds you well. Don't forget that I do one-on-one, in-person sessions. And although it can be really hard to get a truthful message, when we try to hide from the in-person messages, the live ones where there has to be interaction between people in a community, we often just dig ourselves into a deeper and deeper hole. So when and if you become called to a session, don't avoid it. And while I love doing these get out to other people as well that need them and gets you the message that you need to. Remember that you're here for your own path. And while this is a message you can go back to and listen to over and over for medicine and new things for you to dig into, probably could listen to it 15 times and get something different out of it. Don't hide from the live interaction between two people. It will not help you personally on your path to hide behind a screen in the way of like where there can't be an interaction between two humans. As great as this is, and as lovely and how as honored as I am to be giving you this message to the person whose name starts with N. We've got to be thinking about what is the healthiest and best for us personally, and what is the brave, courageous thing for us to do. Don't forget that your light is meant to be seen, and learning how to speak and share is a tool that has to be sharpened, a tool that needs to be utilized, a skill that has to be built. It doesn't always just come naturally for some people. Some people it does, just like singing, right? Singing comes naturally for some and not naturally for others. Sometimes you have to actually practice. All right, if I don't see you in a session, of course, I wish you well on your journey and have a wonderful day. I hope the sun is shining where you are.